All right, hello everyone, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing the AR Blue. It's called the AR111S 1600 PSI 1.4 GPM electric pressure washer. Now this thing has been on the market for quite some time, so make sure you're subscribed because the next video that we're going to be doing is the new BC111HS or something like that, basically the updated version of this. Basically it does have upgraded numbers, GPM numbers. We will be testing that to see if that's an actual upgrade or if it's just a change in color. But anyways, guys, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that one. Now let's jump into this guy. We're gonna unbox it, take a look at all the components. We'll go over the quick features and then we'll test to see what the actual real world numbers of this pressure washer are. I'll be hooking it up to my little pressure washer gauge. So we'll be testing it and seeing what the PSI reads on that. Then we'll be testing the GPM. We'll be running it into a bucket for 1 minute and that'll give us the gallons per minute rating. So anyways, guys, let's jump into this thing and take a look. And guys, really quickly, I'm going to be giving this machine away to one of you. So make sure all you have to do is comment down below, then copy that comment, go over to my Instagram. It's linked down here somewhere. Go over to the Instagram, comment the exact same comment, and make sure you follow me on Instagram and you'll be entered in to win this machine. So any upgrades that I show with this will not be included. It'll just be the machine, but I'll package it up and send it out to one of you guys. So hopefully that helps you. Back to it. All right, guys, so over the time I've been doing a lot of pressure washer reviews, a lot of people have asked me about the AR Blues, and to be perfectly honest, I have not used any of them, so I don't know. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we've got. Right off the bat, instruction manual, a couple of little screws and things like that. This is nice. They do give you extra O-rings in your package, so if anything ever wears out, you have them there, which is super nice. Most other pressure washer companies do not give you that. All right, let's go ahead and just pull all this stuff out and then we'll walk through it all. Most of it's just gonna be pieces that we need to screw in, like the handle and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that and then we'll walk over the features and get this thing actually tested. Okay guys, so right off the bat, a couple pieces that we do have to go ahead and screw in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All this stuff's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty nice because it all just slides into place. There's got little grooves, so you can, like with this handle, you just have to line it up, slide it into place, and then you screw it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that stuff really quickly. You know what, actually I'm not going to. I'm not gonna screw it in. We're just gonna kind of make this easy because I'm gonna be sending this out to one of you. I don't wanna take the time to screw everything in. It'll serve our purposes. It's holding in nicely. We don't have to actually do all that kind of good stuff. So the next two pieces are a wand holder and probably your cord holder or hose holder. But these should just, you guys just gotta find the right one and they will connect. They just slide into place and snap in. So very, very nice. There we go. So we're good to go there. One of them should hold your power cord. Now the power cord that it comes with is standard across like all pressure washers. It's a 35-foot power cord with the ground fault interrupt plug on it. Then we also have our 20-foot pressure washer hose. Now this hose, AR Blue, uses an M22 by 15 millimeter connection point. So what that means is compared to like Craftsman's, Ryobi's, a lot of other brands, those use an M22 by 14. What it is this outer section is the M22 fitting. The inner diameter here, this little portion right here, this one is 15 millimeters. So if you were to want to replace the hose, which I always recommend, I have a whole video on like 5 pressure washer upgrades that everyone should get. I'll link that down in the description below. So if you are interested after checking this out, go check that out because it will, those 5 things just make your whole pressure washing experience much, much better. So I highly recommend that. However, we're gonna be doing our best to test as much as we can just using this. But anyways, if you are going to be replacing your hose, you do need the M22 by 15 to M22 by 14 adapter. I'll have that link down in the description below for you guys as well, in case you want it, along with all the upgrades that I recommend. Moving on, we do have our pressure washer wand here. Now you do get my goodness, a lot of different extensions. Okay, all right guys, so between these 3 pieces, I'm not a huge fan of this, especially with this wand. You have to use this little short one. As you can see, there's this little piece here that screws back. Okay, so you just wanna make sure it's all the way forward. That fits into the actual trigger portion press it all the way down, twist it into place, and then you can tighten this guy down. Keeps it all nice and snug. So that design is great. Right off the bat, that's all good. Now you can add either your normal extension for the spray gun, okay? And you have a long pressure washer wand lance right here. Or you can take the extension, plug that in, and then this piece on the top. So they're giving you an option for an extremely long pressure washer wand. So I'm not a fan of all the connection points, but it's nice. It is nice, guys. It's nice that they give you that option. So whatever you're doing, you're gonna be able to reach, right? If you're working on a second story, it's nice you'll have extra length to be able to get up there. Still not as long as some of the others, but it's nice that they give you that. Most pressure washer brands don't give you that many extensions, so pretty cool. Okay guys, so here is your AR Blue 111S. Now this is a part of their Legacy series. Again, you can see that it is rated at 1600 PSI, and it also states 1.4 GPM on the packaging. Now this is also available on Amazon. On the Amazon listing, it does state 1.58 GPM. So who knows which one's correct, but we're gonna be testing that anyway, so we will know here very soon. So right off the bat, guys, you do have the handle right on the top, which is very nice. You have a basic toggle switch for on and off. Comes down to, you have your water. This is the connection point for your pressure washer hose. Now again, this is an M22 by 15 millimeter fitting. So if you want to replace your hose, you make sure to get that adapter. Along the side of it here, we do have our pressure washer hose storage. That nice little hook just fits right there and it can hang right off the side. We have our 35-foot power cord. Over to the other side of the machine really quickly, we have our pressure washer wand holder. So it's just this little plastic piece that just slides right in. Now you do have to have this, just that one extension on there. If you have any others, it's not gonna fit, but the others do fit right off the back of it. It has this little storage cubby, you can just tuck them in there. And then this little piece fits in there as well, and this is just your little soap dispenser. There's no onboard tank for the machine to carry any soap, but this is a better option anyway, because with this fits at the end of your pressure washer wand, and you're not contaminating the entire hose with soapy residue. This is just at the tip and it cleans out that way. Now this is not a full-blown foam cannon. I will have some of those linked in the description below for you guys if you want to get nice thick foam. This machine will do it. This little piece will not. It's just going to be soapy water, but it's nice that they give it to you anyways. Now on the back of the machine, they do have the water inlet valve. This is where you'll connect your hose to, so this will be your water source. All of this looks really good. It's nice material, a nice thick plastic piece here for you to grip onto over the nice metal pieces. There's a little mesh filter there, so you don't have to worry about getting any debris into the motor itself. And like I said before, the outlet is on the other side. I've said it a million times before, but I always prefer the inlet and outlet for the water to be on separate sides like this, so that it doesn't get all tangled up. So great job right there for the AR Blue. Now let's go ahead and check this thing out. We'll hook it up to water and test it. Okay guys, now really quickly, one more thing before we go over to test. I just wanted to point out the connection point for the hose to the wand. It's not the type that I prefer. So I usually like it to be a screw in, or where you can put a quick connect. Now this technically is a quick connect, but it's just not the most robust. It's just this little piece that slides into here, and then you push this down and it slides over the piece and it should hold it in. So we'll go ahead and seat it in there. That feels pretty good actually. And this one's a little bit different. So this one's a little bit nicer. So this one you can just press in and it snaps into place, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to push this in to secure it. This is actually just a release for when you take it out. So definitely feels better than some of the others that I've used with that type of a connection point. Is it still ideal? No, but it's gonna get the job done. So if you're looking for just a cheap option and you wanna know what the actual real world numbers are, we're gonna be testing that now. I'll show you the aftermarket items that I like, but just so you know, it'll do the job. And for a connection point that I don't like, this is the best one that I've seen of the ones that I don't like. So take that for what it's worth. Let's go plug this thing in. All right guys, so we've got the machine right here all set up. The water is running into it, no leaks or anything, so that's good. We have the standard pressure washer hose and gun that it came with. Now what I'm going to be doing is I can't test the PSI with those, with that original equipment because my pressure washer gauge won't connect to it anyway, so I can't test that. However, we will test it. I'll just kind of see how it feels, and then I will test the GPM in it, and then I'll switch to my aftermarket hose and wand that I prefer, and we'll test the PSI there, and then we'll test the GPM with that as well to see where we're at. So, all right, so with the nozzle set at, I'd say it's probably about 35, 40 degrees right now. It's running 12.35 amps. Let me see if it'll change if I... With it set at 0, it's running about 12.4. So right in that range, 12.3 to 12.5, you should be fine. Now, I gotta say it feels pretty powerful. Let's go ahead and while this is hooked up like this, let's go ahead and run the GPM test, and then we'll switch out the hardware, the hose and all that kind of stuff, and test everything else. All right, now one more thing before we do the GPM test really quickly is I'm going to pull up my decibel meter, and we're gonna check and see how loud this thing is. It's raining outside, but typically ambient noise is around 55-ish. Yeah, we're quiet, so it's bouncing between 50 and 55. I usually hold my phone just about 3 feet away from the machine. We're gonna do that, and we will test this and see how loud it is. Okay guys, here we go. All right, an average of 83 decibels. That's extremely standard for all electric pressure washers that are in this price point. So as far as noise goes, you're not gonna get a quiet machine, you're not gonna get a loud machine. It's standard. If you're looking at this price point, they are what they are. That's just how loud they are. That squeak afterwards is pretty standard as well. So you just gotta live with it. Okay, GPM test. Okay, so here we are, we've got the bucket set up. This is my little measuring bucket. Alrighty, so we're ready. I'm just going to go ahead and get my stopwatch ready, and we're gonna run it for 1 minute, and we'll see what our GPM is. All right, guys. And here we go. All right, there we are. That is 1 minute. 5.5 quarts. So 5.5 quarts, I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's just run it let me just calculate that real quick. 1.375 GPM. So again, this thing was rated at 1.4 on the box, so it's spot on. Yeah, it's slightly over 5.5 quarts. We'll give it the 1.4. I think that's accurate. Now let's test PSI, and then we'll test GPM with all that kind of good stuff and see what we can get out of this machine. Okay guys, we're back at the machine and the hose is removed. So I'm going to be hooking up my 50-foot Uberflex hose. The reason I love this thing so much, guys, 50 feet long. I apologize if you've seen my other reviews, you know what I'm gonna say about this thing, but 50 feet long, super pliable, doesn't kink. You can get it to roll over on itself, but it doesn't actually stay in the line. Same feel as always. This thing's amazing though, I highly recommend it. It's linked down below. When you compare that to the hose that it came with, 50 feet versus 20 feet, way better. This has normal quick connections, way better in my opinion. That one will kink as you're getting it unraveled and everything else. What's bad with that is it creates a pressure point in it. When the pressure builds up in the hose, it could potentially fail down the line. I will say though, while I was using it, it wasn't kinking. It was doing a pretty good job. Still a little bit tangled up, but not bad. So keep that in mind, but I do recommend this one. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and screw it into the machine. I do have the M22x15 to M22x14 adapter. It just screws on and then you screw the hose onto that one. Really simple. So we're gonna do that, grab a pressure washer wand right here. And because this machine didn't come with any tips, we're gonna be testing out a few different ones. We're gonna be testing a 15-degree tip from Ryobi, which has the smallest orifice size that I've been able to find. We'll see if this machine can handle that. Sometimes when the orifice size is that much, it creates so much pressure going through that little hole that it trips up the motor. So we'll see if it can handle that. And then we have 2.5, 3, and 3.5 we can check, see where we get. For around the house, obviously the smaller the orifice size, the more PSI you get, so you may want that for cleaning driveways. But for detailing cars, I like to operate between 1,000 and 1,200 PSI and the highest amount of GPM as I can get. So let's go ahead and hook this up and we'll check it out. I will go grab my PSI meter and we'll be able to test this thing. Okay guys, I'm gonna be running into my stubby pressure washer wand. I love this one. This one actually has a swivel on the bottom. I'll link it down below. When you go on that link, if it's in stock with the swivel, it'll be listed on that same listing. If it's not in stock, it'll just show the one that doesn't have the swivel. You can buy aftermarket swivels. I'll link those down as well for you guys. It comes to about the same price if you buy them separately and then just plug it in, so not a big deal. So again, guys, we're going to go ahead and take my PSI gauge. I'm going to plug it into one quick connection point on the hose, then into the pressure washer wand itself. Okay, we're good to go. Now we're going to be testing 3 different tips. I have the 15-degree Ryobi nozzle. The orifice size on this, I don't know for sure. I think it's around 1.8 or something like that. Then we will run a 25-degree nozzle. This is a 2.5 orifice size. Now the angle doesn't matter. It's the orifice size that matters. If you're running all 2.5 orifice, you'd get the same PSI between 15, 25, and 40. So keep that in mind. So we're going to run the Ryobi 1.8-ish, a 2.5, and a 3.0 40 degree. So we'll go ahead and start off with the Ryobi and see what it does. All right, so let me go ahead and show you guys the 1800 PSI. Here we go. Uh-oh. You hear that? So, not designed for 1800 PSI, guys, which makes sense. It's rated at 1600 PSI. So, Ryobi nozzle has too small of an orifice size. Do not get that. So, we will go to the next size that we have here, which is a 2.5. Again, this is the 25-degree nozzle, but doesn't matter. We go ahead and test this one. Okay, so a 2.0 would probably be your ideal one, but we don't have that. So anyways, guys, 2.5, gonna run the test. All right, we're sitting at about 1200 PSI. All right, here we go. Now, power-wise, that really feels like what the factory equipment it was getting. Just feeling it. Yeah, it feels like that's probably about where I was running, maybe 1500 PSI. Honestly, it's probably running at about 1500 PSI, which is accurate for these machines. They're always off by a little bit there. So it's probably doing that with the original equipment. And if you're running a 2.0 nozzle, that's probably where you're gonna sit, which would be safe for the machine because that's where it's rated. So 2.0 nozzle would be great. I don't have one, so if you're looking for those numbers exactly, just keep that original hose and wand because that's the only way you're gonna be able to use it. Otherwise, 2.5 is great as well. 1200 PSI is a good number. We'll test the GPM on that in a second. But first, we're gonna go ahead and test the 3.0 nozzle. And here we go. Okay, 1000 PSI. Here you go. So 1200 PSI with the 2.5, 1000 PSI with the 3.0. Let's go ahead and jump over and check the GPM. Again, with that Ryobi nozzle, guys, that really small nozzle, it was getting 1800 PSI. It's just the motor was cutting out because it's not made for that. GPM. Okay, so we are back at the trusty measuring bucket. We're gonna go ahead and start with the 2.5 millimeter or 2.5 orifice. I always say 2.5 millimeter. It's actually 2.5 GPM is what it's rated for. They rate it by 2.5, 3.0, 3.5, etc. So this is the 2.5. Same thing as last time. We're going to run this for 1 minute. And here we go. All right, guys, now I would assume that we have increased our GPM because I'm assuming with the factory equipment, we're probably at 1500 PSI. This one's dropping our PSI down to 1200, which usually increases the GPM. So let's go ahead and look. Yeah, substantially, we're at six quarts. So guys, at 1200 PSI, we are getting 1.5 GPM. Great numbers, great numbers. Now, can we increase that even more? Let's see, we're gonna go to that 3.0 nozzle. Now that was operating at 1000 PSI, still great for car detailing. And you can kind of decide what you want. Do you want a little more PSI and a little less GPM? Because 1.5 is still great. So let's go ahead and check that out. I'm just gonna dump this water and I'll be right back. And the measuring bucket is all set up. And we're switching out the nozzles to the 3.0. And we are ready to roll. So I'm just gonna set up that stopwatch again for one more time and see just how much GPM we can get. Because again, that 1000 PSI is perfect for car detailing. So if we can increase that GPM even more, this thing's awesome. All right, ready, set, go. All righty, that's a minute and we increased another half of a quart, guys. So at 6.5 quarts, I think we're running 1.625 GPM at 1000 PSI. So I like it. Great little unit. The accessories that it comes with aren't great, in my opinion. They will get the job done. It's just the hose. They'll definitely get the job done. The hose is just a little short. So not my favorite there, but you can upgrade it. Now moving into, like I said, guys, make sure you're subscribed because we're gonna be reviewing the upgraded version of this next for our next video. And I'm just looking at the box right now, and right off the bat, it's got a quick connection tip, not this little screw-on deal. It looks like, unfortunately, the hose is probably the same connection as this one, so that's a bummer. But maybe we'll be able to test that thing and get a better idea of the numbers with that one. So anyways, guys, I hope that helps you. If you're interested in these AR Blues, like I said, everyone asked me about them. They're supposedly Italian made. The machine looks great, performs great. Sound-wise, it sounds the same as all the others as far as on the decibel reading. When I was using it right out of the box, the first things, you do smell a little bit of a plastic burn, which is pretty standard. You know, the motor's finally heating up, it's been sealed up, but no issue with it. That's just kind of standard with, you know, when it has plastic parts around it, they can heat up and you get that smell. I think that's it, guys. So anyways, please make sure to like the video, subscribe down below, and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one.